Gentlemen, I want you to listen carefully. What I'm about to share with you may sting, and for some of you, it may rip open wounds you've been trying to ignore. But deep down, you already know this truth. There comes a moment in every man's life when he looks into the eyes of the woman he loves, and something feels off. Her lips say, "I love you." But her eyes, her energy, whisper something else. You can't explain it. You can't put it into words. But you feel it, a hollow space, a missing spark, a silence louder than her words. That, my brothers, is not paranoia. It is not jealousy. It is awareness. The silent sign. The hidden language of the heart. The whisper that tells you when a woman has already given herself to another man. And if you ignore that whisper, if you silence your gut and explain it away, you will pay the price. In time. In energy. In heartbreak. Tonight, I will walk you through 6 emotional and spiritual signs that a woman's loyalty has shifted. Not to shame her. Not to feed your anger. But to protect you. To sharpen your awareness. And to remind you that a man of value never begs for loyalty. He recognizes when it's gone, and he walks away with dignity. Stay with me, because once you see these signs, you will never see women, love, or relationships the same way again. Section 1, Emotional Distance, 5 minutes. Men, let me start with the very first sign. And it's one you'll feel before you can explain it. When a woman has given herself to another man, her emotional presence with you fades. Not just her attention. I'm talking about the essence of her presence. Think back. Remember when things were good between you? The way she looked at you when you entered the room, the glow in her eyes, the warmth in her smile, the way she leaned in just to hear you better. That was emotional closeness. That was her heart choosing you. But when another man enters her life, even in secret, that closeness begins to fracture. She still sits next to you, but her eyes drift to her phone. She laughs at your jokes, but it sounds hollow, forced, or distracted. She still says she loves you, but it feels like she's speaking from a script, not her soul. And here's the tragedy, most men ignore this shift. They sense it, but instead of facing reality, they cling harder. They text more, buy more gifts, try harder to prove their worth. But the harder you chase, the further she drifts. Because emotional distance is not random. It is not just a bad week or stress at work. It is often a sign that her energy has been redirected. That her thoughts, her spirit, are no longer anchored to you. A high-value man doesn't beg to be noticed. He doesn't plead for scraps of attention. He sees the fading presence for what it is, the first fracture of loyalty. And he makes a choice. Not to cling. Not to force. But to protect his dignity before it's stripped away piece by piece. Section 2, Irritability and Comparison, 5 minutes. The second sign is even more brutal. Her patience with you vanishes. Things that never bothered her before suddenly become unbearable. The way you chew. The way you walk. The way you breathe. She nitpicks. She criticizes. She snaps at you for the smallest things. And you wonder, what changed? Here's the truth. You didn't change. Her standard of comparison did. When a woman experiences intimacy with another man, her subconscious begins to measure you against him. She may not even realize she's doing it. But in her mind, she's weighing your presence, your words, even your energy against what she felt with someone else. That's why your once adorable quirks now irritate her. That's why the patience she once had evaporates overnight. And here's where men destroy themselves. They see her irritation and they try to fix it. They bend over backward. They work harder. They try to become perfect in her eyes. But you can't compete with a ghost. You can't outshine the fantasy of another man replaying in her head. A wise man doesn't fight comparison. He recognizes the truth. When her eyes are no longer seeing you as the man she once admired, nothing you do will reset that vision. And so he chooses clarity over chaos. He walks away from the battlefield she's created in her mind. Because no man of value should ever beg to win against another man's shadow. Section 3, Sudden Sweetness and Guilt, 5 minutes. Now here's the deceptive part. Not every sign comes wrapped in distance or irritation. Sometimes, It comes wrapped in sweetness. When guilt takes root in a woman's heart, it often dresses itself as kindness. Suddenly, she's showering you with compliments she hasn't said in months. She surprises you with gifts. She initiates intimacy more than usual. She cooks your favorite meal without you asking. On the surface, it feels like love has returned. But beneath it, it's guilt. She's trying to balance the scales. To cover betrayal with affection. Her subconscious whispers, if I'm extra sweet, maybe he won't notice. Maybe I won't feel so guilty. But here's how you spot the difference. Genuine love is consistent, steady, and effortless. Guilt-driven affection is sudden, dramatic, and inconsistent. One day she's pouring affection on you, and the next, she's cold again. That back and forth is not love. It's guilt trying to disguise itself as devotion. And too many men fall for this trap. They think, she's finally changing. She's loving me again. But brothers, no woman suddenly becomes sweet after months of distance without a reason. And that reason is rarely love, it's guilt. The man of value doesn't get drunk on sudden attention. He reads between the lines. He asks, why now? Why this sudden shift? And when the answer doesn't add up, he trusts the silence louder than her words. Section 4, Intimacy Shifts, 5 minutes. Let's talk about intimacy. Because intimacy is not just physical. It's spiritual. It's energy. It's the invisible bond that binds two souls together. And when that bond breaks, you will feel it in her touch. Maybe she still kisses you. Maybe she still lies next to you. But it feels different. Cold. Mechanical. Like she's fulfilling an obligation, not expressing desire. Passion that once flowed naturally now feels like a performance. Her body is present, but her spirit is absent. At first, you'll try to ignore it. You'll tell yourself she's tired, stressed, distracted. But your gut knows better. Desire cannot be forced. Passion cannot be begged for. And when a woman's intimacy shifts, it's often because she's already connected to someone else on that level. A high-value man doesn't beg for passion. He doesn't force closeness. He understands that intimacy is not duty, it's a reflection of where her heart truly resides. And if that fire has gone cold, he knows chasing only burns him further. Section 5, Secrecy and Privacy, 4 minutes. The fifth sign is one every man dreads, but it is undeniable. Secrecy. She guards her phone like it's a vault. She takes it everywhere, even to the bathroom. Notifications turned off. Passwords changed. The screen always facing down. She's vague about her plans. Defensive when you ask questions. Her world, which once felt open to you, now feels locked behind invisible walls. Understand this. Secrecy is not independence. Secrecy is the language of guilt. And here's the mistake most men make. They turn into detectives. They snoop. They spy. They beg for access. But here's the truth, if you feel the need to become a detective, the relationship is already dead. Because transparency is the foundation of trust. And once that foundation is cracked, you don't need evidence. Her secrecy is the confession. The wise man doesn't chase proof. He doesn't waste his dignity looking through phones or following cars. He sees the secrecy for what it is, a sign that her loyalty has already shifted. And he makes his decision accordingly. Section 6, The Spiritual Disconnect, 5 minutes. Gentlemen, this last sign is the deepest, the most haunting, and the one you cannot ignore. Beyond her words, beyond her touch, beyond even her actions, lies something greater, the spiritual bond. Every true relationship carries a rhythm, a harmony. It's in the way you laugh together, the ease of silence when you sit side by side, the comfort of simply being. But when her spirit has shifted, you feel it. The conversations that once flowed now feel forced. The laughter that once came naturally now feels hollow. The silence that once brought peace now feels heavy, like a wall between you. You can't prove it. You can't show evidence. But your soul knows. And here's where men destroy themselves. They ignore that intuition. They say, maybe it's just stress. Maybe I'm imagining things. But your spirit never lies. And when her spirit has detached, no gift, no effort, no amount of pleading will glue it back. At that point, the relationship becomes an empty shell. And the man who values himself does not cling to a corpse. He releases what no longer serves him. Because he knows peace is worth more than illusion. Closing message, 2 to 3 minutes. Gentlemen, I know this was heavy, painful, even. But here's the truth. Once you see these signs, you cannot unsee them. And that's not a curse. It's a gift. Because awareness protects you. Awareness saves you from years of wasted time, from begging for loyalty that's already gone, from pouring your soul into a cup that will never be filled. A man of value does not fight for a woman's divided heart. He recognizes. He accepts. And he walks away with dignity intact. So let me leave you with this. When her eyes no longer glow for you, when her patience has turned to irritation, when her sweetness feels like guilt, when her touch grows cold, when her secrets multiply, and when her spirit no longer dances with yours. You don't need her confession. You already have your answer. The only question left is, will you ignore the truth, or will you rise, protect your dignity, and choose peace over illusion? The choice is yours. Kindly leave a comment, like, and subscribe for more exclusive contents.